What is up, everyone, and welcome into the Nuts and Bolts 2022 Mock Draft 1.0. And with the 17th overall pick, your Los Angeles Chargers and my Los Angeles Chargers select...
San Diego Chargers are fortunate to have Lance Allworth.
On blue, ready?
Don Coryell.
Hello, history books.
Touchdown, San Diego! Woo!
in to the newest episode of Nuts and Bolts, and it's draft season. I'm here with Tony Tucker. Tony Tucker, how you doing today? I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped for this draft.
I'm so ready for the draft. I'm loving everybody's mock drafts and thoughts and comments, and everybody out there has the exact perfect decision on what the Chargers should do, and the perfect decision is what they will do. That's just the only answer. Whatever they do, I'm just going to decide it's perfect.
I've been saying that the Chargers are in a very rare situation for a team, and that's where there are so little holes in the team that you actually can go into the strategy of best player available at almost every single pick of the draft, which I'm sure Stingley is going to enjoy very much as a guy that loves developing talent.
Yeah, it really is the best position to be in right now. Like when you look at it, most of the players that they would even draft aren't starters on this team outside of a right tackle. That's why so many people are obsessed with the notion of drafting Trevor Penning. And I get it. I know that that's like a concern, but there's a lot of options out there. I even like going the versatility route a little bit more with the offensive line pick because, you know, as much as I don't want to move Filer, you gotta consider it at least, right? Like it's got to be, hey, we don't have to pick this guy because we do have somebody that has flexibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that take. When they said that, it made me really think that unless the guy that they think is going to solidify that position for like 10 years is available, they may not go right tackle in the first round. But we're going to get to that in a second here. Fernando Ramirez waiting on us to crap on Joe. Hey, I'll try and stay away from talking about the Raiders on this show, but I will say this. I do not think that our Raiders show counterparts will be doing any mock drafts anytime soon. They don't got no picks. They don't got no picks. So we don't got to worry about that. That'll be my one shot at Joe. All right, Tony. Oh, let's talk about DeAndre Carter real quick, briefly. Yeah. Chargers added the kick return, and really what I want to point out, they added a Pro Bowl level long snapper. They hired a new special teams coordinator. We brought in a new punter. Whether or not J.K. Scott's going to be the punter or not on week one, we don't know. The Chargers are showing that they're ready to try and fix this special teams unit. Obviously, extending Dustin Hopkins as well as another sign towards it. Tony, you're obviously pumped. We were talking about this move like a week ago, and then it happens.
I was on like cloud nine when they got Andre Roberts, who's going to be 35, and I wanted him back. But I like DeAndre Carter's versatility in as a receiver. Like, think about how gassed they were in that overtime game in Week 18. Now, imagine if Mike Williams could have gotten a breath and they could have brought in somebody like DeAndre Carter, but it was like Guyton, Palmer, and Keenan just running the whole game, basically. And DeAndre Carter could have been somebody that could have came in, spelled him for a couple plays, and really made a difference, in my opinion. Fernando, I am curious if you're still here. Did Staley bring in competition for the punter last year too, and long one out? Or like, how did that, like, is J.K. Scott really the answer? I don't know. We're going to talk Matt Araiza when we get into the mock draft, but I don't know. I don't know if I love that punter.
I'm not 100% on J.K. Scott exactly either. But I'm cool with them going ahead and helping out the special teams in any way, shape, or form because it's an important part of the game. And as a Chargers fan, I've dealt with losing because of special teams way too much than I should have as a fan of a pro team.
Yeah, it would be nice to have competent special teams. And I think a lot of it too is like, is Ficken going to be able to come in and help with the tackling? Because how many times did they they get a bad 3-and-out or penalty call or whatever, and then they punt and the other team goes back the other way, 29 yards on a kick return or whatever. It's frustrating.
Yeah, it seems to happen way too much. But here we go. Fernando is here. He said there was competition at kicker, not punter. So there you go.
Awesome.
There's going to be a punter now. Lachlan Edwards from Notre Dame, last year undrafted for the Chargers. I think I remember that name. That name sounds familiar. I'm not sure if he was someone that I saw in camp or what it was. But shout out to Lachlan Edwards, I guess. Let's get into this mock draft. Sorry, the link kind of got shown here. I don't want nobody hacking into our stream. But let's get into the mock draft. We have it pulled up here. We have it all set up. Tony and I are going to team up on this as the GM of the Chargers and kind of try to make the best decisions that we can, and also just kind of pick who we would want to see the Chargers go after in each round. Once I hit start draft, it's going to start running through all the draft picks before us. We are only drafting for the Chargers. So if you are a Denver Broncos fan and you're looking for Broncos picks, we're going to be picking punter in round 1, kicker in round 2, and then we'll start drafting quarterbacks in round 3 and 4 for the Broncos. But we're not drafting for the Broncos today. So here we go. I'm going to hit resume draft, and it's going to start doing these draft picks. And then me and Tony will pause it when it's our turn. Evan Neal goes first overall. I don't know if that's going to happen.
I have been seeing a lot of watching a lot of these, and Evan Neal floats anywhere between 1 and 7, but pretty much the top 8 are all consensus. Oh, we got a trade offer?
The Chargers are on the clock, and this cool little simulator gives us trade offers for every pick. We have 3 offers here, Tony. The Bills are offering the 25th overall pick, which is right before the Chiefs, that you know that me and you have talked offline. I would love to jump right in front of the Chiefs. And a 3rd round pick and an extra 4th round pick in this year's draft. It says 2021. It's supposed to say 2022. The Bucks offering the 27th overall pick as well, and a 3rd round pick and a 4th round pick, 91 and 133. I kind of like the Bills offer better so far. Oh, here we go. The Bengals want to move up. Who are they trying to get? They want to move up. We'll go back to 31. The Bengals will be giving up the 2nd round, 4th round, and 5th round picks.
Oof. I like this one better because I want a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
But picking at 25 is a little more enticing than picking at 31. Like, I have a better idea of who I would hope would be there at 25 as opposed to 31. Yeah. So I'll leave it with you, but I like the idea of
getting a 2nd round pick, and we have the 3rd round pick, obviously. And we're doing 5 rounds, Tony. So we'll have 2 4ths and 2 5ths also in this. It's too tempting, but I don't want to go back to 31 either. Well, we can do it differently each week. We're planning on doing this again next week, right? With like a 2.0 and then a 3.0 right before the draft happens.
So then let's do that. Let's take the Bills one because we already have
I didn't see
so many.
Though. I didn't see this. The Bills also want our 4th round pick. I didn't see that. Good thing I just noticed that now. Yeah, they want our 4th round pick too. So we'd only have 1 4th round pick, 2 5th round picks, a 3rd and a 2nd, and then be picking 31st. With the Bills, we actually move back 7 spots in the 4th round.
Let's go with the Bills. If they both want it, let's go with the Bills. Let's pick at 25 and then
2/3 now.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving back to 25, and we'll get offered trades at 25 also probably. Let's see. All right, so here's our offers here. We're not as enticed to do it. They want to give the 2nd round pick at 39.
No.
It's too far back for me. The Packers want to give the 53rd. That's too far back too. Let's see what this leather one is. The Lions want to give up the 32nd spot, so 7 spots back, and give us an extra 3rd.
Oof.
I don't think they'd trade back twice.
Yeah, I don't think they would trade back twice either. Yeah, let's make the selection here at 25.
Let's draft. Decline them all. Let's draft. I'm gonna pause it just in case there's a clock or something. All right, so let's look what we got here. The one thing I liked about this simulator also is we can look at it by position.
Yeah.
Zion Johnson, Linderbaum. What position would you be thinking here? Wide receiver, possibly?
So I think wide receiver is interesting just based on the fact of like it's a position that we don't necessarily need, but if we were bringing in the right kind of speed, it just changes what the offense is what it can do, right? Like having that one player that just goes and really opens things up. Because when you look at that Jalen Guyton play, which we love so much, the throw was so perfect. Like it had to be absolutely perfect. How nice would it be if the guy actually had 2 steps and Herbert's able to just lay it out in front of him right there? It does. Every throw doesn't have to be picturesque. So,
and
who's left at offensive line?
I think that deep threat wide receiver will really open up the possibility of Keenan being a pure slot receiver. At O-line, we still have Bernard Ramin. Is that how you say his name? He's highly praised by a lot of experts from Central Michigan. And then these other guys are probably going to go much later in this draft. It looks like all the guys got taken. Where did
Falele he's really massive, and I think he's going to end up somewhere in the second round for sure. When it gets down to the Ohio State guy is when it starts to be more questions. So we technically could have drafted Penning had we stayed at 17. What did they do with the 17th pick that we traded him?
The Bills went ahead and got Jamison Williams. Interesting, because they had to look for a second receiver. Yeah.
So it's like if we would have looked at the board or been able to see the board, maybe we stay there and take him. I don't know, that post that came up where they were talking about Christian Watson, like liking that speed.
They're both here. Olave and Watson are both here. I like Olave right now, but I think Christian Watson's potential is much higher.
Yeah. I think that's kind of where I'm at too. And it's what's his name didn't slip at all. Is Devin Lloyd still here? Because I think that a linebacker.
The Patriots got him, of course.
The Patriots got him.
21. Yeah.
So I can't fully see the board because we have the leave the comment sign up there. But
let's see here. Throw the linebackers up on the screen here before we do anything else. Nakobe Dean is still there at 25, which is interesting. Quay Walker, I think he's a second or third round pick. He needs a little bit of work. Christian Harris, not his biggest fan. What do you think about Chad Muma? I actually like him a lot.
What little I saw, I liked him. I think the other guy who's going a little bit later, Troy Anderson. Yeah. Yeah, the kid he was like quarterback and running back, and then I'll play a lot. He's like, he really is the water boy. Yeah. He was just all over the field. So, I like
him and JoJo. Him and JoJo have similar weird stories, and they're both projects. So what do you want to do? You want to go receiver? I think I'm down for going receiver. It's either Olave, who I didn't think would be here at this point at 25, or Watson. I think the Chiefs would want Olave, so that's who I would take. Oh, but what do you think?
I'm gonna let you have this one. I would go Watson, but Olave is gonna look prettier on the draft card.
Let's see. All right, so Chris Olave is our first pick, and we traded back. Got hit resume. Now we wait.
The reason I kind of wanted to accept the Bengals offer a little bit more was because we got a later pick. So we get 31, but then we got to pick again in the second round.
Well, we always can trade in if we want to into the second round. I paused it. Who was the player that you were looking at in the second round to trade up for, possibly?
Daniel Falele. Because if we can get that, he's a right tackle. He's 6'8", like 370 pounds. He does have a little bit of work to do or whatever, but he's going to probably go somewhere around where that Bengals pick is.
It's time to do it if we're going to do it. Seattle's about to be picking back-to-back picks. I'm not sure who they picked in the first round. Let me see. They picked a cornerback, so they may go O-line here with one of these two picks. We'll see how much the Bears would charge us for this here. Trade partner.
Technology is so great. Yeah, I didn't have any of this kind of stuff when I was young. Like you'd read the paper and the local guy would write something up about your team, and that's pretty much all you had.
Oh, it's AFC and NFC. Oh, you can't really go in here and do all this stuff?
Yeah, you didn't have fun toys like this.
All right, so 39th pick. We can give them our next up third round pick, or you want to try and give them the Buffalo pick? We'll try and give them the Buffalo pick. And let's see if they'll do it for a 6th and a 7th. Nope, they ain't going to do that. Okay, how about this? We go to 2022 and we give them a 4th next year or a 2nd next year. Oh, a 2nd next year and a 3rd this year for the 39th and your boy?
What do you mean, and my boy?
Oh, that's the guy you said you wanted to draft. Daniel Falele.
Yeah, but nobody took him yet. So if we trade into 39, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he's going to quite go off the board yet. It's going to be a little bit closer to like the pick, like late 50s, maybe.
So in here somewhere?
Yeah.
All right, I can cancel. We'll cancel this then. Resume draft. Bears or the Seahawks took him.
They took him?
Yep, I knew they would. For the next pick after the 40th pick, they took him.
Oh, what a great call by you. And they take Matt Corral. Well, I guess if you're gonna draft one, draft the other. But that's all good. Like,
all right, we're getting the trade offer here. The Bucks are on the clock, and they want to give us their second 60th overall pick for a 3rd and a 4th and a 7th.
I don't remember who's on the board, but I like. Don't we have an extra 4th or 3rd from the Bills, right? Like,
yeah, we have 2 thirds. But here we go. Jaguars pick 70 for only a 4th and a 6th. We don't even have to give up one of our 3rds. We could have 3 third-round picks right now.
This is wild. This is so unrealistic, but I'm really enjoying it.
Should we accept it and be on the clock?
Why not? Let's load up with 3rd-round talent.
All right, now we can look at the tackles again here. Abraham Lucas is there. Rasheed Walker. Any names here that are jumping out to you?
Guys that I have.
Vrabel's
kid. Hopefully Vrabel has a pick in the 6th round. He can draft his kid. None of these players are like who I would take right now. I liked what I read about Max Mitchell's aggressiveness, but he's a project. Even Rasheed Walker looks like a project. I think it'd be more fun to maybe go to look at the linebacker situation, right?
Leo Chanel's still there. Tyndall, one of the other Georgia boys, is still there. I think Troy's going to be there for our other 3rd-round picks.
Okay. So then maybe running back. I
looked at RBs really briefly. I like James Cook a ton, but he's just not a fit for us unless we want to start, moving on from Eckler a little bit.
Yeah, but Brian Robinson Jr. is 225, 6'2".
Yeah,
like he's a big back that I think would complement Eckler nicely. I also think Kieran Williams is pretty big, but maybe he's.
Here's one of my favorites, Rashad White.
Yep.
Damian Pierce is still there. I don't see anyone else that I recognize.
I think if Rashad White ends up on a place like Buffalo, or like if he were to get into, he feels like finding out about Elijah Mitchell last year. You're like, who's this kid they got in the 5th round? And all of a sudden he's running for 1,000 yards.
My chat here on TikTok is saying Kyron Williams is that dude.
Yeah, Kieran Williams he's really good. I mean,
there's a lot of guys left. Let's look at corners here. Corners are probably getting a little bit thin.
So I really like this the Joshua Williams kid up there. He's like 6'4". He's from a smaller school. I sent you a video of him, right? And you're like, is this high school tape?
Yeah.
But I think he would be fun, like a fun player for Staley to work with because he's big and fast. Competition is a question. But I think he would be a fun player there.
Yeah, I think that this actually might be a good spot to take a corner because it's starting to get real thin. Zion McCollum was a guy I was like maybe 5th, 6th round, something like that. And he's already in the top 7 here for corners. Kobe Bryant's obviously on here. A lot of these other names I don't even recognize really.
The Kalen Barnes kid was really fast at the combine, but I didn't read super positive things about him.
We need to make a choice here. I think we should go running back. I think this is the
Okay.
best. We got a couple choices. If they went James Cook, I wouldn't be upset. I just think he's going to bring the same stuff that Eckler brings to the table. I like Brian Robinson Jr. I was like Rachaad White also, but this is a bit of a reach for him. You want to go Brian Robinson Jr.?
Yeah, we could do that.
Let's do it.
We got another
RB2.
pick coming up here in a second.
RB2. They want to trade again. We don't need a second pick in 3 picks. Let's just decline that and keep it moving. We're almost there. Here's our actual pick.
Oh, Calvin Austin is gone.
And Jalen Tolbert went right before.
Damn it. I was like, okay, I won't say it out loud and maybe it won't go like the Falele thing.
Still there.
Like last time I said the guy that I wanted.
I think this kid's a sleeper too. I like Alec Pierce. He's like very similar to Drake London, similar red flags as well, but I kind of like Alec Pierce.
He's on my short list. He's tall and he's fast, and I noticed him when I went to go watch Desmond Ridder when I first was like, who is this kid? Why is he so old and why isn't anybody talking about him? And now Desmond Ridder's my favorite quarterback in the draft. So
far,
here's the concern.
We want offense. Should we give the defense some love?
This is the fan
linebacker
in us right here.
How do you think Staley feels about Channing Tindall? He's a guy that's falling on a lot of boards and a lot of mock drafts, but he's a key contributor last year. Quay Walker kind of was his backup all year, but Quay Walker is a little bit more versatile, so I think that's why he's a little bit higher ranked in most people's boards. Number 41, you'll see him if you watch any Georgia games, was going nuts in those games. I think he's a little stiff. That's my biggest worry about him.
Honestly, I didn't watch him specifically. I do remember seeing him when watching other players on Georgia stand out and be hyped. But I didn't watch him.
Let's see what else we got here. DeMarco Jackson's still on the board. I think that he's a guy that Staley would love. Just he's put on a little bit of size and get a little experience. I don't recognize some of these other names. Oh, Malcolm Rodriguez is way down here. He's solid. These guys are all like late picks.
I feel like we are drafting a linebacker here. He should be able to compete for the starting job, right? Like his competition is Kenneth Murray, who hasn't been very good. I hope he's healing from whatever his surgery was. And then Drew Tranquil, who's like seems to be smart and like, you know, athletic and really going after it. Yeah. But is he big time? Like, is he somebody that like a rookie couldn't beat out? So,
well, we could give Troy Anderson a shot here. I like Leo Chenal if he like falls really far and you can kind of get him late. I just think his ceiling is really low. Big kid from Wisconsin, very athletic, but he just when I watch him play, I'm like, I don't see where he can really improve his game too much from here. So I just think that his ceiling is a little bit lower. He's just not this freak of nature guy like a Troy Anderson or like, you know, the earlier linebackers like Nakobe and Devin Lloyd and them. So I'm not super high on Leo Chenal, even though I think he's going to enter the league and be solid immediately for a team. Troy Anderson would be the guy here. I feel like he's what we need. We need some athletic in the middle of the field that can cover and come up and help and run D.
Yeah.
Let's do it. He's a project for sure, though. He's only been playing linebacker for what, like a year, 2 years?
Yeah, but the thing that I really like about him is that, and the thing I like about any young players that we draft is the veteran leadership that's around him, right? That you're going to have Derwin helping you be in place. You're going to have guys like Michael Davis and JC helping keep people there. And then up front, you have Khalil and Bosa, and you have veterans. Like even in the middle, when you go to the middle of the defense, like there's solid veterans at every level. You go to our offensive line, our tackle situation, the real issue to me is that we might have to have like Trey McKitty helping on the edge a lot for who's ever over there. Like if we do Like we're back on the tackle spot now. So I was reading about both of these guys at the top of the board, Abraham Lucas and Rasheed Walker, and both of them, if my memory serves, was that they were going to have trouble with speed rushers. Chandler Jones just came into our division. Randy Gregory just came into our division. Bradley Chubb is there. Like, that the Chiefs are probably going to add somebody. So could you draft one of these guys in this spot right here? And maybe you have to slide him over to guard and you have to kick Filer out to deal with the tackle situation as a possibility.
Well, which one do you like more? Rasheed Walker or Abraham Lucas? I think this is the spot for the tackle also if we don't get like Penning early on.
I can't remember which one it was. The thing is, I really like, and obviously I wasn't able to watch any of these guys. I just was reading different things. Yeah. And the two players I like better than them are way later is Max Mitchell, who they just categorize him as like a leader, aggressive. Like he just played at a smaller school. And then Zach Tom from Wake Forest, he's down a little bit. He has flexibility for like center and left tackle that he played. So adds that. I would go Rasheed Walker.
Yeah, we could sit and wait on Max Mitchell and go corner too. I feel like one more corner is what we need. I like Zion McCollum. I think he's really raw. Has a lot of work to be done on him. A little bit more experience. And he played at Sam Houston State. But when he did his testing and everything, his grades are like off the charts. He's this long, fast, tall cornerback that just needs a good coach. Needs to go to a good coach.
All right, I'm in for it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
So there we go. We got a corner. Now we can look at tackle at the next pick. I'm pretty sure Mitchell's going to start moving up here as teams get picks. We got a 4th round pick. I know we do. And 2 5ths? Or is this our second to last pick coming up? The Chargers also almost pick last. I want them to trade back to get a Mr. Irrelevant for the first time ever. They have the 254 and 255, but not 256.
Did we give away our other 4th?
I don't remember giving away our other. Oh, we did give away the 4th, huh?
Yeah, Alex.
That was part of the deal.
Alec Pierce just went to the Jaguars.
Oh, there you go. Way back.
That feels good. I'm looking to see if any of these like
Damian
sort of projects. Damian Pierce just went in the 4th round. Danny Gray, the guy from SMU, is very fast, but
got some bad news, Tony.
What's that? Oh, Panthers. Max Mitchell!
Panthers took him.
Well, good for them. Rashad White just went off the board too.
Oh, Patriots.
Yeah,
Watch out! Here he comes.
Yeah, right there. He rushes for 800 yards behind David Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. He trades him, to like, I don't know. He's just like, hey, Lions here, take Ramondre Stevenson for.
All right. Well, is there any other tackles other than Max Mitchell that you were into? I didn't do as much research on the tackles yet. Tyler Vrabel is the only late round tackle that I even know of, and that's only because he's the son of Mike Vrabel.
So you're way too far down. I don't think any of those guys even get drafted. Is this the top?
This is the top.
So Zach Tom is the guy I was talking about that has versatility.
Okay.
I think he's the one. He played center. He played left tackle. He's shown position switching ability and done it. Wake Forest tends to be a pretty cerebral school. I like it. I guess I would say is like, if you bring him in and could he be any worse than Storm Norton? Like Storm, I love the ponytail. Keep rocking it, my brother. But I don't know. I'd bring him in and let him just compete for the right tackle job.
Yeah, and if he's versatile, like you said, that Filer plan is always an option. And if
Yeah.
he can go inside, a lot of tackles can transition to inside. The guards just can't come out. That's usually the case.
One of the guys I like there.
Justin Ross to the Jets.
I like that. I like
Oh,
that.
we're
pick.
getting a call.
Oh,
San Fran wants to put us back on the clock.
they're offering their 5th for our 6th and our 7th.
Next year's 7th, not even this year's 7th. One of our 4 this year's 7th.
Yeah, accept it. We're the last round we're drafting anyways. Let's have some fun.
We're back on the clock. All right.
So can we look at who we picked already, just to refresh my memory? Because I do love that. I love you know how much I love Tyquan Thornton.
I love him too. I think that he's a project as well. But we talked about projects being something that we kind of want to take on with how much depth we have on the team already. Like, these guys can play minimal roles for an entire year before we even really need some of them.
He's so big and fast.
Yeah. The only thing he really just needs to work on route running and just getting his hands steady, but he has so much potential with his speed. But he also has the potential to be one of those guys that ran the 4.3 and you just never hear about him again. 25.
If you go watch his highlights, he's so much more than that. I would imagine, I would bet that he gets picked in the 3rd round by somebody because of that speed, and he does have the ability to run routes and high point the ball in the red zone. Like, he's a good player. Like, I would think somebody would take him. I wouldn't mind going over to the edge rusher and just seeing if there's a project there, like somebody that, like this kid at the very top, Dominique Robinson, he's a smaller school, but he's big, he's strong. He needs a little work with his hands. And then Alex Wright, this kid is like 6'7", 270. Again, played at a smaller school.
A big kid. I'm just checking.
Just seeing if he made it far, if he dropped.
I don't think he's in here. I don't think they got punters.
And then the kid from Coastal Carolina is also another small school, Jeffrey Gunter, who not a lot of tape on him either, but
Van Valkenburg.
I think any one of those guys Staley would have fun. Alex Wright probably transitions the best to.
Let's go, Alex Wright.
Maybe could study a little bit more Khalil Mack. The other guys are a little bit more like, hey, you need to go get your hands worked. You need to go watch Joey Bosa use his hands. You'll never be Joey Bosa, but you might as well go over there and watch this man use his hands.
I like it. And the Chargers have talked about the D-line, talked about the defense and the importance of adding depth to that side of the ball. We'll have gotten Troy Anderson, Zion McCollum, both guys who I just think need good coaching, and Alex Wright. There we go. We got guys that need good coaching. We got good coaching for them on defense side of the ball.
Yeah, and
that's it. Here's our picks. I like it. I mean, we traded a lot, so Chargers fans, don't hold your breath for this many inside the 5th round. But maybe the first 3 rounds are accurate if we trade back.
Yeah, I like it too. And I would, if there's any Chargers fans here, get into the comments. And if the option is to take Chris Olave or Pennington, what's your preference right there? Because to me,
the receiver that I want at 17 is Jameson Williams. I've decided on that. If we're going to go receiver, I want Jameson Williams more than I want Chris Olave. I mean, I don't think Garrett Wilson's falling to us. That would be insane if he did. So Jameson Williams is our guy. I don't even want Drake London over Jameson Williams. I just don't think it's a good scheme fit for us. We already got Mike Williams that does the same stuff as Drake London. So Jameson Williams is the receiver. And then after Jameson Williams, I think I do want either Penning or a sliding corner. And if those 3 things aren't available, let's trade back.
Yeah, I like the Jordan Davis pick that was just on the screen here by Gotham. I'm probably butchering your name. I'm sorry, brother. But I like that. And this is what we were talking about before the show. Like, I really don't think they can go wrong with any of these selections. Like, you're bringing in these players and you're not asking Jordan Davis to be a stud right out of the gate. That's why you just picked up Sebastian Joseph Day. and Austin Johnson. So to me, it just feels like if you're that close to right tackle, maybe you just pull the trigger on Pennington and you just say like, we're gonna do this here. My ultimate situation is trading back into a situation where you can put Zion Johnson in the mix. Maybe Kenyon Green falls. Maybe I forget the other player's name.
Good situation for us if we get either one of those guys, and then Filer can move out.
But even if let's say the Steelers might want to come up and get our pick at 17, right, in front of the Saints or whoever else, or maybe the Lions want to jump up, give us 32 and 34. If they're like, hey, we have a feeling Malik Willis might be gone, so let's go that route. And then if we're looking at those positions, maybe a player like Booth is still there and Kenneth Walker, and now it's like, okay, now you still have a 3rd round pick, and now you go look and see if there's a tackle there. If there's not a tackle there, like now maybe you're looking at which linebacker is at the top of the board or whatever. Mm-hmm. So the trade back to me just feels like the best option at 17. And I feel like a lot of people are going to call about that pick.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to, especially I think the Panthers are going to take Kenny Pickett. So that sets up for a Malik Willis slide if he gets past Seattle at 10. And we're before a couple teams that would want him. So I do like the potential of trading back. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of our picks, whether you're watching this live or watching the replay. We tried to give a sprinkle to the defense, a sprinkle to the offense, address all of our needs, and add some depth to a couple of positions. And if it turns out like this, we're going to be doing backflips on draft night. I'll tell you.
I would be very happy with a lot of these players if they ended up in powder blue next season.
Especially if we get a guy like a Chris Olave right in front of the Kansas City Chiefs, man. That would just really get me going. That would really make my night.
Again, I like Christian Watson more than I like him. I like the height and the speed combo. To me, that feels and also too, like when you can do that much at that school that you were at, now you get to play with Justin Herbert. Like it elevates him that much more. So, and there's no expectation for him, like even into year 2.
Yeah, I like him too. I mean, either one of those guys. I highly doubt that Olave would be available at 25. I highly doubt it. I think that he's going to be 4th receiver or so off the board. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yep. I definitely like the trade back idea for if we're going to go receiver for Christian Watson or for Andrew Booth. I'm a big fan of Andrew Booth. I think Andrew Booth is getting a little bit underrated, honestly, from what I'm watching. But a lot of people don't agree. They like Trent McDuffie a lot. I like Trent McDuffie too.
I like Trent McDuffie too. And when you listen to him, there's like a snippet from his pro day interview that he did with NFL Network. He sounds like Brandon Staley when he's talking about accountability and how you about your teammates. And I just listened to him and I was like, these guys could talk football, and then all of a sudden, like, it'd be like, where are they? Oh, they never left. They never left El Segundo. They just slept and talked about playing defensive back for, 24 straight hours. Yeah. This DVC right here.
It's signed a kick returner / wide receiver. How likely do you think they'll go wide receiver in the draft high? We have 5 wide receivers slotted for spots, presumably. I think that they are going to draft a receiver in the draft at some point. How high they draft him is a good point. DeAndre Carter does also play wide receiver, but I think he's brought in to be a returner and a gadget guy for like jet sweeps. I mean, that's probably the most action he's getting on offense. I think that still, even with the addition of Carter, that the receiving core, as of right this second, should be Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Josh Palmer, with Guyton when someone needs relief.
Yeah, wouldn't it be fun if they just like went to, 10 personnel, Mike, where they just have like 4 wide out there? What's the?
I forget. They can just go straight empty. They could just go straight empty and have
Yeah.
5 wide receivers and no tight ends and 5 linemen and a quarterback. I mean, they could.
Bring Eckler out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Really just like allow the defense to panic. I could see a lot of coaches running to the refs and just being like, I don't know what's going on, but Herbert's about to destroy me either with his legs or his arm. This is going to be bad. I need a timeout.
Imagine they go out wide and they're like in a triple bunch set, and it's Keenan Allen in the front of it, Mike Williams, and Jamison Williams off of his heels. Oh my goodness, great.
I do think that Brandon Staley he's the kind of person to me that comes in and he speaks so positively, he pushes you over the top if you're on the fence about something. So if Tom Telesco in the past has been maybe an overthinker or hasn't had the urge to do something, Brandon Staley's the guy that's like, no matter what the move is, he's going to spin it positively. Like he's that guy that's like, even if he ends up like selling you, placebos, it doesn't matter. You're going to feel better because Staley's the one selling it to you. Like he made me feel better after so many losses last year where I was like, what is this, like a snake charmer? Is this dude just like got me in front of his TV doing his thing? But I think that like when he says something, he means it. So when he says, I would love speed at wide receiver, I just think that there's somebody that they're going to take that has that kind of speed and the ability to just open things up for him.
Tyquan Thornton, round 3. There he is.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I think the other guy, Austin.
Yeah. A lot of people forget about this. Gerald Everett is basically a receiver.
Not this guy right here.
Yeah, he's got the board.
I know you can't see it because you can't come in.
I mean, everyone outside of these 2 screens right here will forget about Gerald Everett, but he's basically another receiver. You basically add another receiver who's just a little bit bigger.
I got him going for 65, 750, and 8 TDs. Gerald Everett.
So that's some Hunter Henry numbers right there. Some Antonio Gates numbers. Better see it. Oh, man. We'll go with like 35-year-old Gates numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Those are mid-season Gates numbers.
Yeah.
But I think the options are really endless for them at this position. And last year, when you went into the draft, it was like they have to get a left tackle. Like it didn't matter who was there. You had to draft the left tackle you believed in the most. The year before, you had to draft the quarterback that you believed in the most, right? And in back-to-back years, they nailed it. I think this year, with what they've done in the offseason, is a great opportunity to just look around and go, what do we want? What do we want? Let's be selfish, and let's get that player.
I agree. Let's do it. I'm excited for it. One more thing to ponder before we sign off here. We're already at 43 minutes. We appreciate all of you for tuning in that have been tuned into this show. They've been talking about Derek Stingley, and at his pro day, him and Staley were bonding, I guess. They were getting together. They're talking shop. Staley was kind of tweaking the drills a little bit, getting real hands-on. What about a trade up scenario? The Chiefs talk about having 12 picks all the time. That's their big W this offseason. We got 10. We could also trade up. Would you be for a trade up? Say we got to jump the Vikings, or say we got to jump a team around 15, 14 to go and get Derek Stingley if Staley really loves him and wants him.
No, I won't support trading up in the first round because maybe let's say they didn't spend the money on JC Jackson, then yes.
Yeah.
But if they just spent this money on JC Jackson and you have Michael Davis, because the thing that once we get closer to the draft, everybody acts like there won't be another draft for like 4 years. There's going to be another batch of prospects that will come in that people will act like it's the end of the world if we don't get player ... right? And that's why when I look at the right tackle, the more we talk about it as Chargers fans, it's like, oh, what are we going to do? One of these veteran tackles will come in. Some veteran guard, the line will figure itself out. It's captained by Corey Linsley. Like, it'll be fine. Yeah. But I wouldn't support that. I would actually be kind of mad if they did that. Like, I would be kind of mad.
Yeah. I mean, it would depend on the trade for me. Obviously, I'd be pumped to add Derek Stingley to the team.
Yeah.
No big deal. But yeah, I think that we could definitely use our picks better. And there are a couple corners, Zion McCollum being one of them, who we drafted in our mock draft. Tariq Woolen, he's 6'4", 205, ran a 4.26 40. Excuse me, is the note that I put next to his name. He's very raw, though. Has a lot of work to do to become an NFL level corner. And Roger McCreary. All three of those guys are going to be late picks. I mean, we got Zion here, what, in round 4? Like late round 4 or early round 5?
The guy that I was showing you, with Joshua Williams, right?
Yeah.
The kid from Fayetteville. He's more of a project than those other ones. But if you brought him in and you were just like, hey, you're going to be special teamer, you're going to rush, kicks off the edge for the first year and play backup corner. And you're going to get to learn from J.C. Jackson and Asante Samuel and Derwin James on how to play in the NFL.
Yep. Yeah, so I think that we can go late with that. So it's looking like wide receiver or tackle. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Tony, you ready to sign this thing off? Let's call it. Any last words?
Nope. We know you got a lot of choices, and we appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us.
Let us know what you guys think of our mock draft in the comments. Any added remarks, any guys, any names, late draft sleepers you want us to look at ahead of next week's mock draft 2.0 right here in the same spot at around the same time on the Nuts and Bolts YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys subscribe, like the video. It helps us out a 10, doing both of those things, and it'll help you bolt up more often with us on your feed. With Tony Tucker, Mike on the mic. We'll see you guys next week. The Raiders
party.
Suck. The Raiders suck really bad.
Let's party.
San Diego Chargers are fortunate to have Lance Allworth.
On blue, ready?
Don Coryell.